everybody. Welcome, fellow patriots. Welcome, fellow deplorables. Welcome once again to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Sharron Angle, coming to you from the studios of the Conservative Commandos radio network with a shout out to our listeners on radio stations in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas and Reno, Nevada, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Colorado, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Long Beach, California, Arlington, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. And we can also be seen on the AUN TV network. As Rick Trader, our producer, says, we are everywhere. We are everywhere. My co-host today is Melissa Isaac. Melissa, welcome to Conservative Commandos radio show.
Good to see you again, Sharron, as always.
As always, it's fun to look through and see what's trending in the news. And talk to me a little bit about what caught your eye.
Well, what's caught my eye over this last week is the couple in St. Louis where the protesters damaged their gate, went down their long driveway on private property, and they're standing outside of their house. And so they come out and they're armed. Wife has a handgun, the husband has a rifle, and they calling them Ken and Karen, and they're making fun of the way that they held their firearms. They're saying they shouldn't have came out with firearms because this is a legal protest. They were on the sidewalk. No, they weren't on the sidewalk. They came through a gate. They're on private property. And I think it's just indicative of I think where we are as a country, that we're going to make fun of people who were truly fearful at that point, of these people who are on their premises, on their private property, that we're going to laugh, make fun of them, make memes, rather than say, wait a minute, you guys, we've gone too far. We have people who are afraid for their personal safety inside their own homes, and yet it seems to be a point of people are joking about and laughing about on Facebook. At what point? You know, peaceful protests, I'm all for peaceful protests. I'm all for the public out there saying this is their voices, we want to be heard. But how did we get to the point to where people are coming on our private property, we feel like we're in danger, and yet society think that that's okay. It's not okay. But that's where we are.
It's not okay. And in fact, it's interesting to me, gun sales are way up, of course, across the country since this has started. And it's because people don't think that they're safe anymore. And if you call 911, are you going to get a policeman to respond? Or are they going to tell you they don't want to? Or they can't because they've been asked to stand down by your mayor. And, you know, that's why we're arming up. And those protesters should be very afraid, really, because once they get on your property, you should go out and give them a warning, which is exactly what Ken and Karen did. They went out and said, we're armed. We're not going to let you trespass. Yeah. And we're certainly not going to let you damage our property, nor are we going to allow you to invade our home without a fight. And I don't know what would have happened if it had escalated to firing shots in the air, and then what next, right?
Well, I think they wanted to escalate just to have this fight. But what a sad state where the people of our country don't feel like they can call the police and get assistance. But the fact is, I think we've seen enough proof over this last few months is you can't. I heard a recording of a woman who was driving in a car with her young daughter, and the protesters got in the way. They were on top of her car, and the 911 operator told her to be patient. But whatever she does, not to hurt anyone, you know. But you're in your vehicle, the little girl is crying, the woman starts crying. Well, what are we doing? What are we doing as a society? But no, people don't feel safe. And this is another thing that I encourage people to do, is go to your state's laws. And do they have a castle doctrine? Do they have a doctrine that says before you can defend yourself using lethal force, you have to retreat? You have to retreat back, inside your house. There's the furthest wall doctrine for existence. I mean, some states have very strong castle doctrines, but it's sad that you have to know your rights so you don't get prosecuted for defending yourself on your own property. But I really encourage people to do that. Know your state's laws.
Well, and of course, as we were watching the protests, we were wondering, why aren't these property owners gunning, manning up and going down and protecting their property. Why aren't they? For instance, shooting those looters as they come into their presence, their business. But you're putting it right there. That's why, isn't it? It's because they're afraid they will be prosecuted. They're not going to prosecute the protester, but they may prosecute you for protecting yourself.
That's right. Every state has some sort of self-protection laws. I encourage everybody to learn those laws, because the last thing that you want to do is get prosecuted for defending yourself or defending your home. That's the last thing you need.
Well, since we're on this subject, let's talk about the Second Amendment, because I want to just quote the Second Amendment. I know you know it, and I know that our listeners think they know it too. We all know the second part, the right of the people to keep and bear arms, because that's the one. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, and we know that. But the first part says, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, and then continues, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So with that, I want to talk about this well-regulated militia, and why they would put that in as the very first part. And honestly, it's because there weren't police. It was because people were living out in the wilderness, and because they knew that the first line of defense was going to be them. So we're the militia, right?
Well, and we have the right to bear arms. We have the right to defend ourselves. But a well-regulated militia, you're right. Back when that was written, we're talking about the citizens of the United States. And we're talking about people who wrote and drafted the Constitution, who just came from a country where the people didn't have rights. There was no well-regulated militias. It was a tyrannical government. So, people need to understand that. These people want big government. They want to disarm the people. The writers of the Constitution came from what they're advocating for, and it was people didn't have freedom. They weren't able to live their lives the way they wanted to. So, I have a hard time even trying to grasp the reasoning of the people on the left who are advocating for this, because it makes no sense. You look at the people over in China right before COVID virus hit. Look at what happened in Hong Kong, right? They're protesting in the streets. But yet there's people in America who live free, who are advocating for a sort of dictatorship, for lack of a better word, like what they have in China. So no, thank goodness for the Second Amendment, and thank goodness that so far, we have had judges in a Supreme Court that has said no, the people have the right to bear arms.
Well, we have to go to a break, but we'll continue this discussion on the other side. We are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet, TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM/FM 24/7. And of course, now you can watch us on the AUN TV network in Northern California. I'm Sharron Engel here with my co-host, Melissa Isaac, and we'll be right back to talk about our guests for today.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
Welcome back everyone to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I am Sharron Engel here with my co-host Melissa Isaac, and we'd like to tell you about the AUN TV network. If you're in Northern California, you can watch us in San Francisco, San Rafael, Marin, North Bay, San Jose, Silicon Valley, Santa Rosa, Redding, Sacramento, Chico, and soon in Reno, Lake Tahoe, and Carson City, Nevada. Melissa, we have 3 great guests today. Would you please talk to us about them?
Yes, we're going to start out with Elaine Parker, and she's the president of Job Creators Network Foundation. And she's going to tell us about the historic trade deal that NAFTA is being replaced by the USMCA, and she is saying that this is a big deal for the creation of American jobs, and this is a big deal for small businesses. So small businesses are huge, the backbone of our economy, so I'm interested to see what she has to say. And then we're going to talk to Carole Lieberman, and Carole Lieberman is an MD, she's a psychiatrist, board certified, a Beverly Hills psychiatrist actually, and she's going to talk to us about the reasons why Americans aren't fighting back and turning a blind eye to their country's destruction. We need a little insight into that because that's exactly what's happening right now, and our forefathers, our founding fathers, have got to be turning over in their graves right now. And then Hans von Spakovsky, and he is an authority on a wide range of issues, including civil rights, civil justice, the First Amendment, immigration, the rule of law, and government reform. He's a senior legal fellow in the Heritage Foundation's Edwin Meese III Center for Legal and Judicial Studies. And he's going to talk to us today about the issue of immigration. Recently, that issue has been at the Supreme Court. Don't agree with their decision, but it's been there. It's been relevant. And he wrote a very lengthy, very detailed paper on assessing Trump administration's immigration policies. It's about an hour read. I know you read over it, I have, and so I just hope we can hit the hot spots with him today because it is very detailed, very relevant.
Well, I want to go back, Melissa, to the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. No periods, it's just one long sentence, and it talks about who that militia is, that it's we the people. And in light of these mayors telling police departments to stand down because the protesters have a right to protest, and that protest has the right to take away your property and in some cases your life. We've seen now 2 lives that we know of taken in Washington State. We've heard about rape, and we've heard about all kinds of personal bodily injury crimes, as well as the destruction of private property. And the Oklahoma City DA now is saying, I'm prosecuting, going to prosecute all of these as far as the limit of the law will allow. And of course, the Black Lives Matter representative said, oh, you can't do that. That's a terrible overreaction to just people wanting their rights. Well, it's not an overreaction when you destroy and burn a police car, you assault a policeman, you destroy a business to the point where they can't come back. You know, I think everyone's seen that YouTube video now of the lady who calls them liars. She said, you black lives don't matter to me. You lie. They don't matter to you because I'm black. And you've just destroyed my life. You've destroyed my small business that I've worked years and years to build. We know that happened to a man in the Midwest as well. So, yeah, it's one of those things where this is not just a little bit of property damage like this woman was trying to make out. She was saying, well, just a little bit of property damage. A little bit of property damage is where a little boy accidentally throws his baseball through his neighbor's window. Yeah. That is a little bit of property damage. And he goes over and he says, gosh, I'm sorry, Mr. Jones, I'll make it up. Can I pay for your window? Right. No, and that none of that is happening either. These people are not sorry. There's no restitution. And truly, that's what America is going. Wait a second. What can I do? If my police force is being told, nope, you can't do anything, and then my DA is being told, no, you can't prosecute, then where are we at? And I think we're right here at this well-regulated militia. And I know out in Fallon, Nevada here, a very small town, about 10,000 folks, I guess, out there in Fallon, the protesters came there, lined up on one side of the street and began to rally. And the citizenry came out armed and said, we are the militia. And we're telling you, you need to go on home because we don't want property damage in our town. We don't want you shouting your obscenities where our children can hear them. If you were a peaceful and loving protest, we talked about it yesterday, how the Summer of Love in Haight-Ashbury, 1967, it was love and peace and lots of dope, but at least it wasn't property damage and it wasn't hateful stuff, and people weren't assaulting one another with horrible language. Isn't that against the law, Melissa? I don't know, but anyway, I was proud of the Fallon militia. So talk to us about what's against the law. Do I have to put up with that? Because their language is just obscene.
No, no one has to put up with that. Especially when words cross over to the feeling to violence or feeling that you're unsafe, that your life is in danger. And I used to think that a overreaching government was the worst thing that could happen, but now we have an inactive government. So, but people are left in limbo because they're saying, well, wait, so you're saying that I can't call the police and get assistance, that you're not going to help me, but yet if I try to defend myself, then I might be prosecuted for this. So we have what happened is you're talking about people lined up, and they lined up in numbers, unified numbers, and they had weapons, and they said, kindly leave. And the protesters left because they were outmanned. They were outgunned. Now, there was no violence. Nothing had to happen. They just said, listen, basically, we're not putting up with this. You need to leave. And then they did leave. So, but that's a hard position to put the American people in, is to say, listen, you overreact, right? Overreact, or you react the wrong way, you're subject to criminal prosecution. But by the way, you're on your own. And that's how people feel. That's how the Americans feel right now. So, right, you have some law-abiding, armed Americans, patriotic Americans who say, listen, you in a protest, you're not going to do it at the expense of my life or my property, then kindly leave. And it worked.
Another funny thing that happened, I went up to Klamath Falls to visit my relatives up there. And of course, from that, we got our interview about the tractor protest, 28 miles of people with a legitimate beef about government regulation and not being able to even grow crops up there this year because the government won't release the water they need for their crops. But while I was there, one of my young cousins said to me, I'm having a graduation protest. And I said, what's that? And she said, well, if I have a graduation party, I'm limited to 10 guests. But if I have a protest, I can have as many as I want.
Brilliant.
And she said, if I have a party, I have to wear a mask. If I have a protest, I don't have to wear a mask. If I have a party, I have to social distance. But if I have a protest, we can be as close together as we want. So I'm just going to have a protest. And I thought it was so funny. But then I thought, well, maybe we should start having church protests and we should have neighborhood protests and those kinds of things, because we're all getting really, really tired of the double standard, I guess, between what protesters can do and what law-abiding citizens can do.
Exactly. You're exactly right. I think Americans at this point have had their fill. And how brilliant, how smart of that young lady.
To have a little graduation protest.
I like that.
Well, we are up against the break again, Melissa. I'm Sharron Engel here with my co-host, Melissa Isaac. We are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos radio studios. And if you'd like to hear a rebroadcast of today's show, check out our website, ccrshow.com, ccrshow.com. Or while you're there, you can like us, friend us, and follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. We'll be right back with our next guest, Elaine Parker, after this break.
Mom, thank God you're going to be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
Is Senior Care USA the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $50,000.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
There's no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing condition like I do. When I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure.
I found out that policies start for as little as 35 cents a day. Rates will never increase and coverage won't decrease.
I'm going to call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-822-7419. That's 1-800-822-7419.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page Publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right. We will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call 1-877-461-5033.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling, the complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as one day. and for as little as $199 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. So for as little as $199 a month, you can finally have the bathroom of your dreams. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation. Attention homeowners, do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from the Final Expense Insurance Hotline. The average funeral costs about $7,000, even more. And the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. That leaves your loved ones with a burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase and your plan cannot be canceled regardless of your medical condition, as long as you make your premium payments. Get free information right now. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 855-221-7334.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
Welcome back everyone to the Conservative Commandos radio show. And if you'd like to hear a rebroadcast of our show, please check out our website, ccrshow.com, ccrshow.com. Remember, while you're there, check us out on Facebook and Twitter and like us, friend us, and follow us. Melissa, our first guest, is ready with us. Would you please introduce her?
Yes, we are here with Elaine Parker. And Elaine Parker is going to talk about the USMCA and how it's going to replace NAFTA. And I think that's pretty good. It's going to help small businesses. And Elaine, you're the president of Job Creators Network Foundation. So tell us a little bit about your foundation.
Yeah, so thanks for having me, both of you, by the way. The Job Creators Network Foundation is a national small business advocacy organization. It is founded by a man named Bernie Marcus. He is the co-founder of the Home Depot, and he founded us about 8 years ago. And what he wanted to do was really educate America's employees through their employers about how public policies impact not only the economy, but also personally the employees' pocketbooks and their jobs and their livelihoods. He used to go into the stores at the Home Depot. He's no longer with the Home Depot anymore, not part of the management. But he really believed that the message that he carried to his employees made a difference and made them feel vested in what was happening in Washington, D.C. if he explained how it impacted the business and ultimately their jobs. And so he took time and he used to go into the stores and have town halls and talk to them, not tell them how to vote or who to vote for, but help them understand the policies and how the policies being put forward would impact the business. And so we've really modeled this organization after that idea of educating and advocating for pro-business policies that help small businesses. I know Home Depot is not a small business, but it was when he first opened it. And so he does understand those struggles.
Yeah, that is so important because I think that's a frustration of a lot of maybe politicians and voters alike, is that there's so much bureaucracy and there's so much red tape and there's so many regulations and laws that exist that we didn't even know exist that affect our ability to run businesses and just our ability to work in general. So tell us about the USMCA. Tell us what it is and how and why it's going to replace NAFTA.
Yeah, so although it didn't get a lot of news today, it actually went into effect today. And it is definitely another promise that the president made and kept, and that was to replace NAFTA with something that was fair, not only to America, but to America's employees and small business owners. It sets a very strong foundation for cross-border trade and continues to reorient the global manufacturing system in favor of the U.S. You know, sometimes it seems like many of these deals that we do with other countries just don't work in our direction. This one actually does, believe it or not. And it's really focused, it really does have a strong focus on small businesses and prioritizes those job creators, which is fantastic because of the 300,000 businesses that export in this country, 98% of them are small business owners. Mm-hmm. So you think about that, that's a huge impact on our economy. It's going to open up new markets for small businesses that, you know, previously couldn't navigate just because of the bureaucracy. For instance, it removed the requirement for small businesses to have a local presence in the country to do business. Now they can think of if they don't have to have a location in Canada to do business, then think of the markets that it opens up for them. So it's pretty incredible. Obviously, it helps farmers and workers alike, makes it easier to export agricultural goods, and it modernizes all of the labor regulations and the environmental regulations as well. They anticipate that it will create about 176,000 new jobs and increase our GDP by about 68 billion. And you know, we're in a pandemic-induced recession. right now, and a lot of people are out of work. And we do need to get those jobs back, and we do need these extra 176,000 jobs and get people back to work. The underlying policies that existed before the pandemic, including this one that's going into effect, these are all the policies, the lower taxes from the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act and the regulatory cuts, fair trade agreements like this. That is what is going to help us recover from this pandemic-induced recession.
So the requirement to have a local presence, for instance, in Canada, Mexico, or even further overseas, what would be the policy considerations behind that? Because clearly, I think anybody who would put that policy and actually even propose that knows that it would pretty much target any sort of small businesses. So why was that even in the first place? Do we know?
Obviously, I don't know. I mean, it's in NAFTA, and, that is part of the modernizing. And, this administration has really prioritized small businesses. And when you look through some of the provisions of it, they're very tilted in small businesses' direction because the opportunities for small business to open up these markets in other countries will help them grow even more. And when we know that 2/3 of all new job growth comes from small businesses. There's 30 million small businesses in the country. They employ 60 million people. They are generating most of the new jobs. And so to open up new markets for them is going to help us recover even faster. I mean, small business has been the driving force of this entire economy for the last 4 years. They have been on the front lines of this pandemic. They have suffered the most on the front lines of this pandemic. But I believe that with policies like this starting today, as well as the underlying policies we already had as a foundation, that small business will drive us out of this recession and get us back to where we were in the prosperity that we were enjoying as a country.
Yeah, small businesses are so important. And looking at some of the legislation that's now being changed, you wonder if big business didn't have a really strong lobby that they could have some provisions like that put in there, because obviously that would hurt and kill any small business or their opportunity to operate overseas. So the estimation is it's estimated 176,000 new jobs. What type of jobs do we think are going to be created by this new legislation?
We're in an age where technology drives things quite a bit. Obviously, manufacturing is certainly coming back to the United States, but I think the markets are endless as far as the types of opportunities there for small business. I mean, we have a small business owner who is a cookie maker, and he makes 12 million cookies a day. And the unique aspect of his cookies, though, is very unique market. Is they are sugar-free cookies. He invented the first sugar-free cookie because he's a type 1 diabetic. And so he's created a market of sugar-free products, from peanut butter to maple syrup, ice cream, and cookies. And so, those types of markets, those types of needs exist around the world with people who are type 1 diabetics. So he does ship his products overseas. He ships them all around the world because they're in great demand.
Yeah. So I was going to ask you that as well. So we have, what type of small businesses? Because we think of small business, I think people think of the mom and pop general store maybe on the corner, but it sounds like this guy, making 12 million cookies a day, he's considered a small business, but makes a pretty good dent.
He has 8 employees.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. That's very impressive. I'm very impressed.
Yeah. The wonder of manufacturing.
That's right. Well, we're here with Elaine Parker. We're going to have to take a break. We're coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM, FM 24/7, and we'll be right back.
Attention homeowners. Do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from the Final Expense Insurance Hotline. The average funeral costs about $7,000, even more. And the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. That leaves your loved ones with a burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase and your plan cannot be canceled regardless of your medical condition, as long as you make your premium payments. Get free information right now. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 855-221-7334.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
It's impressive.
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Sharron Engel here with my co-host, Melissa Isaac. And we'd like to give a shout out to all those who listen to us on radio stations in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas and Reno, Nevada, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Colorado, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Long Beach, California, Arlington, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. And of course, you can also see us on the AUN TV network in Northern California. We've been talking with our guest, Elaine Parker, who is the president of Job Creators Network Foundation, about just different things that are happening in the world of small business. But I want to switch gears now from the USMCA, which goes into effect. This trade agreement goes into effect today, right, Elaine?
Yes.
And I want to.
Yes, and it's a win for small business.
And it's a win. Okay, so now we want to switch into I guess it's you tell me. It's called Flatten the Fear. You tell me what this is about. Flatten the Fear.
I will, and your listeners, if they're watching us, they can see the website behind me is flattenthefear.com. The purpose of Flatten the Fear is to help with the reopening of society, not just the economy, but society. We've been shut down for 3 months, and the reason why, if we take a step back and think about why we shut down because we were concerned that this pandemic would overwhelm our hospital systems. We did that. We did it successfully. It's time to reopen, and so what we want to do now is flatten the fear. The media has been very successful at scaring people with the numbers. I'm not a statistician. You're not a statistician. Most people are not. And so when you start talking about just the way the media presents the numbers, it's very scary. And so what we decided to do was launch this campaign just about 3 weeks ago called Flatten the Fear, and engage with physicians and experts across the country who do understand this virus and are on the front lines and understand that we can't look at just rising cases. We have to look at not just hospitalizations, but also the death rate overall, and understand who's in the vulnerable populations. And so we're working with physicians across the country, and we're getting them out there on the radio, on TV, and signing op-eds in the media, and helping to educate Americans that it is safe to re-enter society and to re-engage. Now, we still recommend that you wash your hands and that you social distance, and when you can't social distance, you need to wear a mask. We need to keep the spread down. But as a population, when you start looking at the numbers, I mean, today they talked about how there was, I think it was like 35,000 new cases just today in the country. Well, let's talk about what that means. And let me put some perspective into some of those numbers. Across the country, there have been 0 COVID deaths in 40% of all counties in the country. 0. 40% of our counties. 42% of all the COVID deaths are in nursing homes. 80% are people over the age of 65 with at least one underlying health problem. And people under the age of 55 account for just 7% of the deaths. So when you hear that perspective and help people understand where they fall in the population, whether they're in a vulnerable population or not, that's when you know whether or not it's safe for you to re-enter society. We all have to take responsibility and be careful, but we can re-enter society, and we can still protect the vulnerable without having to isolate the many.
Thank you very much for giving us those statistics and for telling us the truth. I was wondering how we're going to counter Dr. Fauci. He's out there saying 40,000 a day could go up to 100,000 a day. We're going in the wrong direction. He is actually stirring it up again and causing this fear to me. And yet he has been put out there by the president. So many people think, well, Fauci's the expert. I have to listen to him. What do you say to that?
Look, I have to say, you got to look at this in a holistic way. You can't just look at it and how the country is being affected by the virus. How is the country being affected holistically? Our children are not in school. We're seeing child abuse, physical abuse, go up in homes because people are home all day. We're seeing alcohol abuse, drug abuse go up. We're seeing more calls into suicide hotlines. Back to some kind of normalcy for the bulk of the population. And the reality is the bulk of the population is not going to die from COVID. We have a greater chance of being struck by lightning than dying from COVID. And we weigh risks every day. Every day we weigh the risk of, do I get in my car and drive to, my office, because one of the most prevalent ways that people are killed in the country is what? By car crashes. So you have a higher risk of dying in a car crash, and we weigh risk every day. And like I said, I do advocate, and our doctors are advocating, that you wash hands and that you wear a mask and that you social distance and do all of those things to keep the spread down. But if you are not in a high risk population, you do not need to isolate any longer, and we need to get back to normal. We need to open our restaurants 100%. We're going to be living with this virus for a while. It's not going to go away on its own, and it may take a while to get a vaccine that works. And as we know from the flu vaccine, there'll always be people who don't want to get it. I mean, that's just a fact. So we know it's going to be around for a while. We can't shut down an entire state because we have a hot spot in one city or two cities. We can't make the entire state beholden to what's happening in a couple of cities. Now, municipalities probably need to take measures and put pauses and change things. We're going to see that. It's kind of be the ebb and flow of this virus, but we can't keep shutting down the country. It's devastating.
Well, 90% of our landmass here in Nevada is small towns with low populations who some of them haven't even seen one positive test for coronavirus, let alone a case. They just don't have it. And yet they're shut down. Like you said, there's this blanket policy put out by our governor that everybody had to shut down, and now everybody's got to open up at this slow pace. I have to say that I went on kind of a little rant yesterday over masks, because if you don't use masks properly, they are irrelevant. They don't do you any good, and in fact can do you some harm. So I'm really glad that we're starting to look at what the truth is. You laugh.
Yeah. So I'm a runner. I run all the time. And now that we're under an executive order from our mayor here, I'm in Orlando, Florida. So we're under an executive order from the mayor here to wear masks in all public places. So now I'm actually starting to see people riding their bikes wearing masks. I am not a medical professional, but I do know and have read that can deprive you of oxygen. So I personally don't recommend that, but there are people who are taking this extremely seriously and doing that outside. I also see people driving alone in their car wearing a mask. So I don't understand all of that, but I do agree that if you can't social distance, perhaps a mask may help you in that way. One of the things that I hope your listeners walk away from this interview with is that overall the death rate's going down. What we thought was a very, very deadly virus, the CDC recently adjusted the death rate down to 0.4%. So extremely low death rate, and it continues to go down. While we're seeing an uptick in hospitalizations, many of those numbers are actually driven by non-COVID cases. So while it sounds like it's all COVID cases that are driving up the hospitalizations, in some cases, as many as 75% of the ICU hospitalizations and admissions are non-COVID cases. Now, some of that comes from people who went the last 3 months without getting treatments, without finding cancer, going through their cancer screenings and having their diagnostic tests. And many of them are sicker as a result. Again, the societal costs of keeping this economy shut down has been probably greater than the virus, but at least as great. And that's why it's not life versus economy. I mean, there's so many people making the argument that this is just a money thing and we just want to get the economy open again to make money because we're, greedy. That's not it. It's not life versus the economy. It's life versus life. That's exactly what it is.
Well, thank you so much for setting the record straight and also for having this campaign, Flattening the Fear. Can you tell our audience how they can friend you, follow you, connect with you, read about this, get more information?
Sure. Well, Flatten the Fear is just flattenthefear.com. And you can go on there. We have a COVID fact sheet, actually, that has a lot of information and puts things into perspective instead of getting so scared by the media reports. You can follow us on Facebook at jobcreatorsnetwork.com. We're on Twitter at jobcreatorsusa, and Instagram is Job Creators Network.
Thank you so much, Elaine Parker, president of Job Creators Network Foundation, for being our guest here on Conservative Commandos radio show. Take care and God bless.
Thanks, Elaine.
Thank you so much.
And we are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, NetTalk America, and AM FM 24/7. And of course, you can watch us on the AUN TV network in Northern California. I'm Sharron Angle here with my co-host, Melissa Isaac, and we'll be right back with our next guest.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Broken AC, $4,600. Water heater, $1,500. Fridge on the fritz, $1,000. You need home warranty coverage from the Home Service Club for around $1 a day. If any of your covered appliances and systems break down, HSC will either repair or replace them.
HSC provides coverage of up to 47 different appliances and systems in your home.
I trust HSC.
HSC has over 15,000 pre-screened, highly rated technicians with the fastest response time in the industry. They cover everything from ACs, stoves, fridges, pool pumps, and more. Call the number on your screen now for a free no-obligation quote from a trusted HSC specialist about a home warranty for your entire home, backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and get 1 month free plus $75 off your first year of coverage. 1 month free and $75 off your first year. The Home Service Club.
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for dental visits. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for transportation to my doctor. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay to have my prescriptions delivered directly to my home. Did you?
These and more are important benefits some Medicare Advantage plans may give you. So if you're eligible for Medicare, call us right now because you may be eligible to enroll in a plan with amazing additional benefits. Some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for services like these: dental visits, vision coverage, hearing coverage, home delivery of drugs, even gym memberships. Some plans may include no copays for many services and 0 deductibles. Don't wait to find out if you're eligible to enroll in a plan that may include some of these wonderful benefits you deserve. Call us right now. The call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation. Make this free call now to learn if you're eligible to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that may include additional benefits you want. Call us right now.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Welcome back, listeners, to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Sharron Angle here with my co-host, Melissa Isaac, and we want to invite you to go to our website and see a rebroadcast of any of our shows there at ccrshow.com, ccrshow.com. And of course, while you're there, Click on our Twitter or Facebook and friend us, like us, or follow us. Melissa, we have our next guest ready. Would you please make her feel welcome?
Yes, we have a very impressive next guest. We have Dr. Carole Lieberman. She's an MD, an MPH, and she's board-certified Beverly Hills psychiatrist and an award-winning and best-selling author. She was trained at NYU, and she served at the clinical facility at UCLA's Neuropsychiatric Institute for years. When she's not seeing patients or testifying at trials as a forensic psychiatrist or expert witness, she is working as a 3-time Emmy-honored TV personality who's appeared on Oprah, The Today Show, Good Morning America, CNN, Fox News, HLN, ET, ABC, CBS, NBC, and many, many more. But Dr. Lieberman, welcome to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Thank you so much.
It's great to have you here. And there's an article that we're going to discuss, 7 reasons why Americans aren't fighting back and turning a blind eye to their country's destruction. And I think everybody is seeing that, right? And everybody would agree with you. So let's talk about those. Let's talk about that and why you think Americans aren't fighting back.
Yes, I think, right before July 4th, this is a perfect topic to be talking about because I think our forefathers are rolling over in their graves. Mm-hmm. This is not what they had in mind. We are seeing such destruction in America in the streets, and uncontrolled, no end to all of the violence, and it's anarchy. I mean, simply, it's anarchy. And absolutely. One of the reasons why Americans aren't, this topic, this issue, makes me not be able to sleep at night. I've been thinking about this for ages. Well, ever since all of this began, the anarchy began. Why we're not protecting our people. Americans aren't protecting our statues, for example, aren't fighting back. We make fun of the couple in St. Louis, we call them Ken and Karen, right? When they were scared out of their minds. So one of the reasons is fear, actually. Fear of getting injured or killed if we go out into these crowds. If we, how many of us can go around a statue and protect it from these mobs? Mm-hmm. And then also fear of speaking out, that people will think we're racist if we speak out about this violence and the looting and so on, because it's supposedly it's all about Black Lives Matter, and you can't say anything. There is racism in this country, so you shouldn't be saying anything bad about racism. We do have to do something about it. But the problem is that it isn't just about dispelling racism. Mm-hmm. It's about Black Lives Matter in that pure way of thinking about it. It is radical groups of various names and ideologies who have infiltrated the Black Lives Matter, and, who are the ones who are trying to perpetuate this anarchy.
Yeah. So let's go back to the, Ken and Karen in St. Louis. And what happened was some protesters actually, I believe what I read was damaged their gate, broke their gate down, went down a long driveway. They were on private property. So you see on social media, and it's horrible people to get their information off of social media, but they say, here we have protesters exercising their right, and we have people, these 2 white people, Ken and Karen, come out of their house, and they've got guns, and they're making fun of the way that this woman they've named Karen holds her gun. But the fact is, that was private property. And what would anybody do in that same situation when you have people that you don't know if they're violent or not, they're threatening you, and they're on your property? Isn't it okay as Americans, we have guns, to come out and say, listen, you're armed, I'm armed, leave my property?
Yes, I saw that on the internet. I saw the video on the internet one night before I went to sleep, and I found it incredibly disturbing. And that this mob was on this private property, and this couple was obviously in fear for their life. And then the next morning, I woke up and I went back to Twitter, right? What do you do when you wake up? And on top of that, what happened to them, there were all these people, saying how terrible this couple was for doing that, trying to protect themselves. And what a lot of people don't know, and they're going to be very surprised, is that these radical groups have in mind, have already, I mean, I've been seeing this already on the internet, have been trying to persuade radicals to actually do home invasions, just like they've been doing looting.
Yeah.
You know, with taking things, killing people, all of that. It isn't so far-fetched what happened to them. And what people also don't want to realize is that if that happened to you, you know, if you take out your cell phone, if there was time for that, and you call 911, if you defund the police, there's going to be nobody there to help you.
Yeah. Yeah. And as far as the Ken and Karen, you know, the whole name Karen came up, I would say, that I became aware of in the last 6 months or so. But Karen is a derogatory name for a white woman who basically gets upset or takes issue with some things, and they kind of label her a Karen, for those of our followers who don't know what a Karen is. And Ken, I can only imagine it comes from a Ken doll, a Barbie doll. Right. So, but you're right, you know, and I think you look at the suicides. Now, you say in here too, there's a greater rise in suicides due to people seeing their world destroyed than there was from the coronavirus, because people don't want to live in this new normal. So is there any going back from this new normal? I mean, there's a lot of people that can't live under the new normal, but is there any going back?
Well, you know, the part of that is so disturbing is the fact that, I mean, why people would, I mean, you know that people have been committing suicide because of coronavirus, because we've been hearing on the television for weeks and weeks, we are all going to die.
Yeah.
But on top of that, now we have a country that's being destroyed, and people don't want to live in a country where these kinds of things are going on and nobody is stopping them, and the police stand there and don't do anything, and Chaz and Chalk are allowed to stay open, and you know, and are things that we love. I mean, sure. Are there people, you know, some of the statues of people who may have had some kind of connection to slavery or so? I mean, at this point, really, if you asked most of the people who were attacking statues, you know, what this person had to do with racism, 90% of them, at least, would not know, wouldn't have a clue. It's really beyond that, because it's really about just destroying America. And people there really are enough Americans who don't want to live in a destroyed America.
You're right. And you look at Andrew Jackson, the statue of Andrew Jackson was vandalized, but he was a Union general. He was on the other side of the Confederacy. So I think that's a big problem on both sides of the political fence. I think you have a lot of these people who aren't educated in our history, and, you know, who are the perceived good guys and who are the perceived bad guys. But the fact is, it's our history. It is what it is. You know, we can't do much about it as far as changing it. I mean, but there is this cancel culture where I think people want to literally erase and do away with our history. It doesn't make any sense. But there's this perception that there is no assistance, that there is nobody coming to help when you call 911. So what does that do to someone when there is this feeling of helplessness and hopelessness? How do they react to that?
You know, I was talking about, when it was just coronavirus, I was talking about corona crazy, how people were, you know, doing things and saying things that were really not like them and really crazy. And defund the police became the craziest example of how, I mean, what are people thinking? You know, they want to punish, I mean, what they're thinking psychologically is that they want to punish the police for the police having killed George Floyd. But you don't punish the police by defunding them, and then there being no police to help you when you have a problem and you need a policeman. And you know, that's part of why people are turning a blind eye to this disempowerment. Some of the mayors and governors who are telling their police to just stand there and not do anything, and see all this, you know, so all the looting and nobody's doing anything, and in Chaz and all of that, nobody's doing anything. So then that makes just an average American think, well, I'm not getting in there. If the police are running away with their tails between their legs, I'm not going to go in there. So all of that is just so destructive, and it's so disempowering for the police, and it's also disempowering for us.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, we're speaking with Dr. Carole Lieberman. We're going to have to take a break. We're coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM FM 24/7, and we'll be right back.
Mom, thank God you're going to be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
Is Senior Care USA the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $50,000.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
There's no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing condition like I do. When I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure.
I found out that policies start for as little as 35 cents a day. Rates will never increase and coverage won't decrease.
I'm going to call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-822-7419. That's 1-800-822-7419.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right. We will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call 1-877-461-5033.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling, the complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day and for as little as $199 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. So for as little as $199 a month, you can finally have the bathroom of your dreams. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 888-431-0562. That's 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562. 888-431-0562.
Dish TV is better than cable TV. Here's why. Dish has the nation's lowest TV price, along with an award-winning DVR that can skip commercials, record 8 shows at once, and get access to thousands of movies at your fingertips. Cable simply can't even compare. So the smart choice is to cut the cable and get Dish. Plus, you get all these great TV features, free HD DVR upgrade, free installation, and free movie channels. Say goodbye to cable and get more with Dish TV. 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. As an added bonus, you can switch to Dish now and receive a $50 Visa gift card. So call now and get Dish TV. Call 877-290-7764, 877-290-7764. That's 877-290-7764. Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, monthly equipment fees, and other restrictions apply. Promotion can change at any time.
Friend, do you remember when it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank to expand a business, go on vacation, or buy a new car? Well, today, withdrawing your own cash has become a very risky business, according to The Secret War, a shocking new research report. I just read it. And folks, I was amazed to learn why banks are now required to spy on us for the government and then report any suspicious or unusual behavior. I suggest you get The Secret War free. Just call the number on the screen, no charge, from the folks at Swiss America, and get this. Did you know simply spending cash today may be enough to have you branded as a potential criminal? That's right. The new war on cash is really a war against all freedom-loving Americans. The Secret War is yours free, so call the number on the screen and you can tell them Pat Boone gave you the number.
Welcome back, listeners, to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Sharron Engel here with my co-host, Melissa Isaac, and we want to talk to you a little bit about the AUN TV network. You can watch us if you're in Northern California in places like San Francisco, San Rafael, Marin, North Bay, San Jose, Silicon Valley, Santa Rosa, Redding, Sacramento, Chico, and soon in Carson City, Reno, and Lake Tahoe, Nevada. We've been talking with our guest, Dr. Carole Lieberman, who is an MD, MPH, and is confirmed, is a board-certified Beverly Hills psychiatrist and award-winning and best-selling author. She's written 7 reasons why Americans aren't fighting back and turning a blind eye to their country's destruction. Thank you for holding through that break, Dr. Lieberman. It's great to have you on as a guest.
Thank you.
I was looking at some of the things that we hadn't covered in the first segment of these 7. We covered fear and disempowerment. The next one is PTSD. I think of that as a war zone. Are we in a war zone?
Yes, we are. It's really, what we've learned from 9/11, one of the things that we learned is that there were studies that showed that people who watched again and again and again the Twin Towers falling developed PTSD, even if they weren't in New York or DC or Pennsylvania. And we, from watching, countless hours of coronavirus coverage, the numbers of people who were dying and so on, developed PTSD, and now also from seeing these mobs in the streets. And so having that makes us very fragile, and it makes PTSD is causes all kinds of symptoms, nightmares, for example, and people have been suffering from that. And so, in this kind of psychological state, that's not the kind of state where you feel emboldened to go out and try to protect the streets.
Well, another reason was poor education you gave. Talk to us a little bit about poor education.
It's so interesting. Lately, it isn't, I'm sure it depends upon where you look, what city and so on. But I was just looking at something today for New York City, because where I'm originally from, and the protesters are now primarily white college students. Who have nothing to do because school is over. I felt like, putting up a tweet, send these kids to camp. It's really, I mean, some of them are genuine. They really do care about racism and so on. I don't mean to, say all of them are just are bored, but really what's been happening, and I'll admit that I was shocked at the degree of this, but what's been happening in universities and colleges is that so many professors are teaching kids that, well, for one thing, that socialism and communism are better than democracy and capitalism. And I've been reading, I'm sure you have too, about these professors who have been helping the protesters, or let's not call them protesters, the rioters, telling them how to take down statues. Have you read that? I mean, I could not believe it. Professors, you don't think of professors like that. And so clearly they haven't been reading history books, that gives them pride in our country, and they haven't been reading Ayn Rand or 1984 for that matter. And so they really don't have an appreciation for how many people have sacrificed their lives so that they could be out in the street in their shorts protesting,
Neat. Yeah.
Today. So that really, and then of course we have denial, the people who fled New York for the Hamptons, right? And it's just too much for them to deal with. A lot of people, even if you don't go to the Hamptons, a lot of people are feeling like this is just too much. It is overwhelming. I can't think about this another minute. And then another example is disorientation. People who are disoriented walk in circles, and we're kind of walking in circles. And a lot of the disorientation comes from what we were talking about before, with these symbols of America being trashed, from statues, historical statues, to the flag, to kneeling, to not standing for the national anthem. All of these things that we've counted on, that we grew up with.
So as our therapist, Dr. Lieberman, how do we snap out of it? What will you tell America to get us back on track and fighting for our country again?
Well, the first thing is we have to restore law and order. There has to be, fortunately, for example, Chaz is in the midst of being dismantled. Finally, after several people were killed and raped and all of that, but it's a good sign. And President Trump has signed an executive order about protecting the statues. And what we need is we need the police to be police and to be respected. And where they are having problems because of the sheer numbers of rioters, then the National Guard should be called in. This isn't brain surgery, really. And then, of course, we need more hotlines for people to provide psychotherapy. And we need more television shows and radio shows, at the risk of sounding self-serving. We need more television and radio that really help people psychologically, not things that are going to scare the pants off of them. I'm not saying you have to show news, but do it in a way that gives a solution, as well as telling people what's going on in the world.
That's right. Well, that's why we've invited you on our show. We've enjoyed our conversation, but there's so much more that we could say if we hadn't run out of time. Dr. Lieberman, tell our audience how they can friend you, like you, follow you, get your book, just connect with you.
Sure, I would love people to connect. My Twitter feed is Dr. Carole, MD, DrCarole, MD. I write all kinds of scathing things on there. That's how I deal with what's going on. My website, I'm the terrorist therapist. After 9/11, I just have devoted a lot of my work to helping people cope not only with the ongoing memories of 9/11, but with, of course, the ongoing threat of terrorism. And I've written a number of books a number of books. My latest one is for parents and teachers and kids, Lions and Tigers and Terrorists, oh my, How to Protect Your Child in a Time of Terror. So I was in the process of beginning a tour. I went to England and France and so on, talking about that, and I was planning on continuing around the world until coronavirus happened. So terroristtherapist.com is my website, and you'll find a lot more information there.
All right, before we go, I need to correct. I think I got Grant's name wrong. It's Ulysses S. Grant. I think I got the name wrong, another politician. So before we go, I just want to correct that because I don't want my inbox to blow
Instead of Andrew Jackson, we knew who you meant.
Yeah, my bad.
Thank you so much, Dr. Carole Lieberman, for being our guest here on Conservative Commandos radio show. Take care, and God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Lieberman.
We are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM/FM 24/7. I'm Sharron Angle. I'm here with my co-host, Melissa Isaac, and we'll be right back with our next guest, Hans von Spakovsky from the Heritage Foundation.
Mom, thank God you're going to be okay.
So relieved. But you both should know when my time comes, I have a final expense policy with Senior Care USA.
Is Senior Care USA the life insurance policy that helps loved ones pay for funeral expenses and other debts? Bill and I called to get more information.
Yes, and there's an immediate payout of up to $50,000.
If you're over 50, call Senior Care USA now to learn more about final expense insurance plans.
There's no medical exam, even if you have a pre-existing condition like I do. When I called, the quote was free, and there was no pressure.
I found out that policies start for as little as 35 cents a day. Rates will never increase and coverage won't decrease.
I'm going to call today.
Ask about the free prescription discount card. Oh, I'm so glad you'll be taken care of.
Call 1-800-822-7419. That's 1-800-822-7419.
But is it? It's really just the beginning, right? Have you written a book and want it published but don't know where to start? You're not alone. Page Publishing cuts through the confusion that most new authors face, like copyright protection, barcodes, printing, and digital uploading. We will get your book into bookstores now. We guide you through the publishing maze and help you distribute and sell your work in hard copy and ebook formats. That's right. We will digitize and place your book for sale on Amazon, Apple iBooks, and Google, offering it to millions. Don't waste another minute. Most publishers won't even look at new author submissions, but we're different. We review your book and provide you feedback in about a week. If we decide to publish your book, your work ends and ours begins. From copy editing and proofing to typesetting and book cover art, our team gets you into bookstores fast.
Call 1-877-461-5033.
Does your current bathroom need to be updated immediately? Introducing One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling. The complete and hassle-free way to get the new bathroom of your dreams in as little as 1 day. And for as little as $1.99 a month. Yes, the experts at One Day Bath and Shower Remodeling will come to you anywhere in the country and show you all the customized options. Now you can have a brand new bathroom in as little as 1 day. Large or small bathrooms, if you want a new bathtub or shower installed, we can do it in as little as 1 day. And if you call right now, you can save $750 off your remodel. We make it easy by offering you financing as low as $199 per month. So for as little as $199 a month, you can finally have the bathroom of your dreams. Call now to schedule your free in-home consultation.
Welcome back, listeners, to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Sharron Angle, here with my co-host, Melissa Isaac. And if you'd like to hear a rebroadcast of our show, check out our website, ccrshow.com, ccrshow.com. And while you're there, Don't forget to friend us, like us, and follow us on Facebook and Twitter. Melissa, our next guest is ready. Would you please make him feel welcome?
Absolutely. We're here with Hans von Spakovsky, and he's authority on a wide range of issues, including civil rights, civil justice, the First Amendment, immigration, the rule of law, and government reform. As a senior legal fellow in the Heritage Foundation, Edwin Meese III Center for Legal and Judicial Studies. His analysis and commentary have appeared in the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Times, Politico, Human Events, National Review Online, and Town Hall. Along with John Fund, he is the co-author of Who's Counting? How Fraudsters and Bureaucrats Put Your Vote at Risk, and Obama's Enforcer, Eric Holder's Justice Department. Hans, welcome back to the Conservative Commandos radio show.
Melissa, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk today about an article assessing the Trump administration's immigration policies. And the summary I have starts out with, President Ronald Reagan is attributed to have once said, "A nation that cannot control its borders is not a nation." And that is a great way to start out your article. But tell us about assessing the Trump administration's immigration policies.
Well, it's a very lengthy heritage paper, and what we set out to do was to basically summarize all of the policies and particularly changes in policies that the Trump administration put in to do what, as you recall, the president promised to do during his campaign, to actually start enforcing our immigration laws. And so it's an extensive summary of all the different changes, plus in each case we also talk about the fact that, as you all know, almost everything he's done has been challenged in the courts. So we try to also summarize what the current status of that litigation is. I think the bottom line for folks to understand is that the president actually has been trying to carry out his promise. Mm-hmm. And they've made a lot of very good changes, a lot of common sense changes in how our immigration laws are enforced. And the only thing that has stopped him or stymied him on some occasions is all the frivolous and often meritless litigation filed against him by, frankly, the open borders folks across the country.
Well, let's look at the Supreme Court's recent decision that Trump can't immediately end DACA. Right. But my question there is, so he was going to take executive action to undo Obama's executive action, and the Supreme Court said, no, you can't do that. I don't understand that.
Well, neither can I. I mean, look, Chief Justice Roberts joined the 4 liberal justices in that case, and that is just a really awful decision. Because, look, part of what the challengers in that case were saying was that the president didn't have the constitutional or statutory authority to end the DACA program, which had been put in through executive action, of course, by President Obama. What the Chief Justice did is he said, well, yeah, the president does have the authority to end the program, but he didn't give a sufficient explanation for why he was ending the program, which is a really ridiculous ruling. You know, the dissents written by, for example, Justice Alito, Justice Thomas, so forth, they were right on point in which they said, look, they gave an adequate explanation for why they were ending the program, but they didn't need to give any explanation at all. Why? Because the DACA program was unlawful from the very beginning, and you don't have to give a reason to end an unlawful program. Look, I think what was going on here, and this is an unfortunate characteristic of Chief Justice Roberts, is that the legally correct decision would have been politically controversial, and so he wanted to avoid doing that.
Well, we have our justices on the Supreme Court, you know, becoming political activists and legislating from the bench, and reading this decision, it doesn't make sense. The court is saying, no, you can't undo by executive order an executive order. We're completely bypassing the legislative branch altogether, and they're saying, no. But who's to say what justifications would suffice? The court? They gave themselves that power.
Look, you're exactly right about that. Look, if Congress wanted to put in a DACA-type program, that basically provided an amnesty for aliens, not only provided an amnesty, but actually gave them work authorizations and access to government benefits like Social Security and Medicare. Look, if Congress wanted to do that, they could.
Right.
But the president, neither this president nor President Obama, have the authority to do that. In particular, President Obama did not have the right to say to aliens who are here illegally, for example, we're going to issue you work permits. Why? Well, because federal law, Congress, has laid out very specifically and in great detail which aliens who are in the country are entitled to work permits, and aliens who are here illegally aren't permitted to have those.
That's right. That's right. So looking through the article that you've written, you said a country cannot maintain an independent sovereign nation if it is unable or unwilling to control its borders. So we have a president who is willing to control the borders, yet we have a large segment of the population that is unwilling and seemingly unable because we still can't control these borders. So do you think, are we able at this point, given the political divide and the hot issue that is immigration, are we able to control our borders?
Well, I'll tell you, I think if the president has more time to continue the policies he's putting in place, but also more time to engage in the fights in the court, I think we can. And what I mean by that is, one of the problems in the federal courts is there are all these liberal judges appointed by Barack Obama, certainly at the lower levels. They're the ones that have been issuing all these nationwide injunctions against the president. But in most of these immigration cases, when they finally get to the Supreme Court, President Trump has actually won most of them. The DACA case is an example of him losing, but in most of these immigration cases, he has won. The travel ban case, as you remember, he won that case. At the same time that the DACA decision came out, the Supreme Court just came out with another immigration decision, again, that the Trump administration won, in which they upheld the right of the administration to engage in what they called expedited removal of aliens who come here and assert a fraudulent asylum claim. And in that case, again, the Trump administration won.
Yeah. Many proponents of open borders have tried to extinguish the distinction between legal and illegal immigration. Right. And I think under the Obama administration, they did a pretty good job doing that. But They did. So how is it that, especially going back to the Supreme Court or a lot of our legislators, we have on the books good immigration policies that aren't being enforced, but what's the benefit of the left to extinguish the distinction between illegal and legal immigration?
I think, frankly, at the bottom line is it comes down to politics. I think folks on the left want as many aliens coming into the country legally or illegally because they believe those aliens will then vote for liberal progressive policies and help them to retain power. And that's why they want to encourage for example, aliens to come into the country illegally. The state of California, for example, look, they treat aliens who are here illegally as if they're legally here. They do everything from give them driver's licenses to they really have no measures in place to prevent them from registering to vote. And they're not interested in putting in any kind of measures like that, even though it's a felony under federal law for an alien to register and or vote. But the California election officials don't care about it. In fact, they encourage it.
That's right. We're going to have to take a break. Right now we're speaking with Hans von Spakovsky, and we're coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM FM 24/7, and we'll be right back.
Attention homeowners. Do you have a house that's in need of serious repairs? Do you have tenants that never seem to make their monthly payments? How about code violations, past due taxes, or maintenance costs you just can't afford? Then call my friends right now at Quick Cash Offer. They specialize in buying any home, no matter how ugly the situation. Turn that problem property into cash right now. It's just that simple. One call and you can get rid of that home headache forever. They buy the ugliest houses with instant closings, instant cash, and huge savings. Plus, there are no realtor fees, no listing fees, and no repair costs. Just cash in your hands for that painful property. They're buying a few more houses in your neighborhood this month. So take advantage of this cash offer and call Quick Cash Offer now.
855-296-8854. 855-296-8854. That's 855-296-8854.
Listen carefully. If your student loan debt is overwhelming you and things seem hopeless, we've got great news.
If you're still struggling with your student loan debt, there are government programs available that may actually lower your payments by consolidating your federal student loans. Just call us. We'll review your situation and work with you to consolidate your debt. In many cases, depending on your situation, we can lower your monthly payments in half or more. It doesn't matter how much you owe or how far behind you are. Even if you're in default, call us right now to find out how we can lower your payment in half immediately. You can stop the harassing phone calls and the wage garnishments. All you need to do is pick up the phone and call us right now. We can remove your default status, consolidate your federal student loans, lower your payments, and we can do it today. Stop worrying. This is a real solution that can help. So please call us right now.
Call 800-917-8671.
Are you over the age of 50? Want peace of mind and financial security for your family? Here's an important message to you and all seniors from the Final Expense Insurance Hotline. The average funeral costs about $7,000, even more. And the most government benefits will pay your family is only $255. That leaves your loved ones with a burden of paying your debts and funeral costs. Our plans start as low as $1 per day and will pay up to $30,000 for your funeral and other final expenses. There's no medical exam and you'll have lifetime coverage. Plus, your rates will never increase and your plan cannot be canceled regardless of your medical condition, as long as you make your premium payments. Get free information right now. Just answer a few simple questions and get approved right over the phone in just a few minutes. Call right now.
Call 855-221-7334.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next?
How do you get in front of companies or get a patent?
Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors just like you for 35 years.
And thousands of people contact them every month.
With 65 offices, you can meet with an InventHelp representative near you who will keep your idea confidential and explain their invention process step by step. InventHelp has helped over 10,000 inventors get patents. And they offer 3D animations and prototyping services to help demonstrate your idea. InventHelp's exclusive databank includes over 9,000 companies who have agreed to confidentially review new ideas, like yours.
Don't wonder what to do next. Take action right now and get the help you need from InventHelp.
InventHelp. Call today for free information.
800-880-2937. That's 800-880-2937 now.
Welcome back, listeners, to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Sharron Angle here with my co-host, Melissa Isaac. We've been talking with our guest, Hans von Spakovsky, and we want to talk to our listeners a little bit who are joining us from radio and stations in Jacksonville, Tampa, and the Villages, Florida, Las Vegas, and Reno, Nevada, Macon, Georgia, Lancaster, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Boulder and Colorado Springs, Colorado, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Long Beach, California, Arlington, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. Welcome aboard. And we've been having a great conversation with Hans von Spakovsky, who is with the Heritage Foundation Mies Center. And he has written, along with two others, a wonderful overview of Trump's immigration policy. And it is really a comprehensive paper. It takes about an hour to read, but it's very enlightening. It goes for everything from the border wall to merit-based immigration, establishing a point system for green cards, increasing adjudicatory capacity, and I guess I wanted to camp out a little bit on the Constitution, Hans, because I know you're an expert there. And this whole idea of birthright citizenship, I've heard that expounded upon by my good friend John Eastman. He wanted to take this to the Supreme Court, and they've denied him. Do you think we're ever going to get there and really talk about what that means? Are people that are born in this country necessarily citizens?
No, the answer to that is no. Look, what happened is that the 14th Amendment to the Constitution, people should remember that's one of the Reconstruction Amendments that was passed after the end of the Civil War. It has a provision in there regarding citizenship, and it has been now misinterpreted for the last 50 years to claim that anyone born in the United States is a U.S. citizen. That's just simply not true, and that was not the view in the U.S. for most of our history. This just started to change, apparently, in the 1960s through bureaucratic changes at the State Department. But here's what the issue is. The 14th Amendment says that you are a citizen if you're born in the United States and are subject to the political jurisdiction of the United States. Most people make the mistake of thinking, oh, well, that just means territorial jurisdiction. In other words, if you're in the United States, whether you're a foreign tourist or whatever, you're, of course, subject to our laws. And that's what territorial jurisdiction means. But if you're a German tourist and you're in the U.S., you are not subject to the political jurisdiction of the U.S. In other words, your loyalty isn't to the U.S. government. And in fact, if, for example, we reinstituted the draft, you can't be drafted as a foreigner in the United States. And so what that actually means is you're not a U.S. citizen unless you're born in the United States and your political allegiance is to the U.S. The only way that can happen is if one of your parents is a U.S. citizen. Because if you are born in the U.S. to, for example, again, a German tourist, you are automatically a citizen of Germany, even if you're born in the U.S. And the German government has control over you. So it's just a complete misinterpretation of the 14th Amendment. And it's basically because the State Department changed its rules in the 60s and started issuing passports to people who've been born in the U.S. regardless of whether one of their parents was actually a U.S. citizen or not.
And it seems like the left that wants to keep this in place, this anchor baby policy, they seem to get a little bit conflicted when it comes to presidential races, because we had a great kerfuffle over Ted Cruz having one parent that was not an American citizen, and also over Marco Rubio, whose both parents were not U.S. citizens at the time of his birth. And so, people were saying, wait a second, you're not a citizen, you have to be naturalized. And yet this is in place, and we've been accepting these anchor babies forever, it seems like.
Well, yeah, no, that's true. And folks need to understand that this has given rise to this this phenomenon called birth tourism. And in fact, last year, the U.S. Justice Department, for the first time in its history, finally started prosecuting and filed the first indictments against 20 Chinese citizens who were running 3 tourist agencies in California, who literally had brought thousands of pregnant Chinese women to the United States as supposedly tourists for the sole purpose of having them give birth in the U.S. And they did everything from lie to immigration officials to coach women how to get through U.S. customs disguising their pregnancies. And yet this was the first time this had happened. And these agencies made literally tens of millions of dollars doing this.
It is so close to human trafficking, it's almost scary to me.
Yeah. And look, we're one of the few countries in the world that recognizes birth tourism. The vast majority of countries do not. They recognize what a mistake it is. And even some countries that used to have it have gotten rid of it because they understand that it is a temptation that drives people to illegally cross borders and get into a country.
And it all stems from this first misinterpretation of the Constitution.
Yeah.
It really does need to go to the Supreme Court. Another one that is pretty dear to me is this public charge rule.
Right.
Talk about that.
Sure. Well, that law has been in place since the late 1800s, and it was a law that basically said that if, for example, you were applying for citizenship to come to the United States, or you were a resident alien and you wanted to apply for citizenship, we would not consider you for those if you are likely to be a public charge on the U.S. And what that means is if you cannot financially support yourself, and because you're receiving government benefits, then you are not going to get citizenship. That makes perfect sense, obviously, from an economic standpoint. But prior administrations, including the Obama administration, only considered cash benefits that you got from the government to fall within the public charge rule, which, of course, makes no sense whatsoever, because you both know we have dozens of government programs that provide all kinds of benefits, including, for example, low-income housing, things like that, that are not cash. And all the Trump administration did is they came in and said, "Look, we're going to consider any government benefits you get in this public charge rule, even if it's strictly a non-cash benefit." And again, since you're trying to protect American taxpayers, that just, to me, is the way the rule ought to be.
So, Hans von Spakovsky, we have just barely touched the surface of this report, and it is, like I said, very comprehensive and really very interesting, things that I didn't even realize, especially about judges, and we just didn't even get there. How can people find this report, follow you, friend you, connect with you, just get the things that you write?
Well, if they go to heritage.org, heritage.org, they will find the immigration paper actually on the first page, since it just got released, and they can easily find everything that I publish, republished also on the Heritage website.
Thank you so much, Hans von Spakovsky, for joining us here on Conservative Commandos Radio Show. Take care and God bless you.
Thanks for having me.
And we are coming to you from the Conservative Commandos Radio Network studios and around the world on the internet with TalkStream Live, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Net Talk America, and AM/FM 24/7. And of course, now you can watch us on the AUN TV network in Northern California. I'm Sharron Engel here with my co-host, Melissa Isaac, and we'll be right back with more.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Broken AC, $4,600. Water heater, $1,500. Fridge on the fritz, $1,000. You need home warranty coverage from the Home Service Club for around $1 a day. If any of your covered appliances and systems break down, HSC will either repair or replace them.
HSC provides coverage of up to 47 different appliances and systems in your home.
I trust HSC.
HSC has over 15,000 pre-screened, highly rated technicians with the fastest response time in the industry. They cover everything from ACs, stoves, fridges, pool pumps, and more. Call the number on your screen now for a free, no-obligation quote from a trusted HSC specialist about a home warranty for your entire home, backed with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Call now and get 1 month free plus $75 off your first year of coverage. 1 month free and $75 off your first year. The Home Service Club.
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for dental visits. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for transportation to my doctor. Did you?
I didn't know some Medicare Advantage plans may pay to have my prescriptions delivered directly to my home. Did you?
These and more are important benefits some Medicare Advantage plans may give you. So if you're eligible for Medicare, call us right now because you may be eligible to enroll in a plan with amazing additional benefits. Some Medicare Advantage plans may pay for services like these: dental visits, vision coverage, hearing coverage, home delivery of drugs, even gym memberships. Some plans may include no copays for many services and 0 deductibles. Don't wait to find out if you're eligible to enroll in a plan that may include some of these wonderful benefits you deserve. Call us right now. The call is free, the information is free, and there's no obligation. Make this free call now to learn if you're eligible to enroll in a Medicare Advantage plan that may include additional benefits you want. Call us right now.
Here's a great way to save money on your prescription medications. If you take Viagra or Cialis, we can give you a way to pay as little as $2 a pill. Compare that to prices as high as $60 per tablet. Call now with your prescription and pay as little as $2 a pill. We offer 24/7 service and always free delivery and confidential packaging. Call Pharmacy Shop 24/7 to get generic versions of Viagra or Cialis for as little as $2 a pill, plus free discreet shipping.
Welcome back, listeners, to the Conservative Commandos radio show. I'm Sharron Angle here with my co-host, Melissa Isaac, and we're out of time, Melissa. Could you tell everyone how they can find you, friend you, connect with you, and also would you thank our guests today?
Yeah, well, I am on Facebook, just Melissa Isaac. I'm on Instagram. I think it's just Melissa Isaac, and I think I'm on Twitter, Melissa.Isaac. So I've got pretty boring handles, but I'm easy to find me. So that's where you can find me. Now, and we have 3 great guests. We always have these great guests. We had Elaine Parker. Elaine Parker is the president of Job Creators Network Foundation, and she told us how the USMCA replaced NAFTA, and it goes in effect today, which of course the media isn't giving it any attention whatsoever, but it can create, what did she say, 176,000 new jobs within the U.S. and really opens up the ability for small businesses to export some goods. And such a great thing for our country, but of course media is silent on it. But then we got to talk with Dr. Carole Lieberman. I love Dr. Lieberman, and she wrote an article of 7 reasons why Americans aren't fighting back and turning a blind eye to their country's destruction. Very relevant right now, and a lot of people are asking the same thing. They're like, wait a minute, our country's going down the tubes. We've got violence in the streets. You call 911, you're not getting any help. And she's kind of going through how this is affecting us as Americans and really why this is happening in the first place. Great talking to her. She's got such good insight, wonderful credentials. So I always love talking to her. And we spoke with Hans von Spakovsky. And I'll tell you what, he wrote, it's an hour-long read, but he wrote the most comprehensive paper about Trump's immigration policies. And I love talking to someone who's versed and educated in this because I think there's a lot of misunderstandings out there. But no, he kind of went through the basics. It was a quick interview, but went through the basics on Trump's immigration policies and how the Supreme Court has interjected themselves and why he thinks they got it wrong. And I agree with him on that. But these are all things that are relevant right now, and great interviews, great guests.
They were great. And of course, if anybody wants to follow me, they can find me at SharronAngle.com, SharronAngle.com. But for right now, we're out of time. We got to run. We got to go. We take care. God bless. And we'll see you tomorrow on TV and on radio.